In the early 1940s, as World War II reached a critical turning point, the United States military faced an urgent challenge. To win in Europe and the Pacific, the nation needed thousands of combat planes and thousands of trained navigators and bombardiers to fly them. In Wichita, Kansas, one company answered that call: Beech Aircraft Corporation. During the war, Beechcraft produced more than 7,400 military aircraft, training the vast majority of American aerial navigators and bombardiers. Behind this industrial giant was not a decorated general or an eccentric male millionaire. It was a soft-spoken, impeccably dressed woman who never held a pilot's license in her life. Her name was Olive Ann Beech. Known as the First Lady of Aviation, Olive Ann Beech rose from a rural Kansas farmhouse to become the first woman in history to head a major American aerospace corporation. She navigated the Great Depression, expanded a wartime factory to 14,000 workers, steered her company into the space age, and built an empire that eventually merged into a defense titan valued at $800 million. This is the story of Olive Ann Beech, the woman who built warplanes and conquered Madison Avenue and Wall Street. Olive Ann Mellor was born in Waverly, Kansas in 1903. Her parents raised her with a simple philosophy: take responsibility, manage your resources, and never wait for permission. Her business instincts emerged early. At 7 years old, she opened her own bank account. By 11, she was balancing her family's monthly budget. When her family moved to Wichita, Olive Ann enrolled directly into business college. By 1925, a brand new high-risk industry caught her eye: aviation. A young pilot named Walter Beech, along with pioneers Clyde Cessna and Lloyd Stearman, had formed Travel Air Manufacturing Company. They hired 21-year-old Olive Ann as a bookkeeper. She was the only woman among 12 employees and the only person in the building who did not fly. While the male aviators focused on stunt flying, Olive Ann focused on cash flow. Under her strict financial discipline, Travel Air grew into one of the largest commercial aircraft producers in the world. In 1930, Olive Ann and Walter Beech married. Walter was a daring engineer. Olive Ann was a cool, analytical strategist. In 1932, at the depth of the Great Depression, Walter and Olive Ann founded Beech Aircraft Corporation. Their goal was to build a fast, luxurious corporate biplane, the Beechcraft Model 17 Stagger Wing. But selling luxury planes during an economic collapse was nearly impossible. Olive Ann proposed a bold marketing move. Beechcraft would sponsor an all-female piloting team in the famous 1936 Bendix Transcontinental Air Race. Industry insiders dismissed it as a gimmick, but aviator Louise Thaden flew the Stagger Wing across the finish line first, setting a transcontinental speed record and beating top military pilots. Orders flooded in, and Beechcraft survived the Depression. In 1940, as World War II intensified, disaster struck the company. Walter Beech was stricken with severe encephalitis and hospitalized for nearly a year. With the military demanding immediate factory expansion, bankers assumed Beechcraft would collapse without its male founder. Instead, 36-year-old Olive Ann stepped in and took total operational control. Armed with precise financial models, she personally arranged $83 million in loans and federal credit lines to retool the factory for wartime manufacturing. She expanded the workforce to 14,000 employees, aggressively recruiting women to keep assembly lines running day and night. Under her leadership, Beechcraft delivered over 7,400 warplanes. The plant earned 5 Army-Navy E awards for production excellence, a distinction given to only 5% of war contractors. In 1943, the New York Times named Olive Ann Beech one of the 12 most distinguished women in America. When the war ended in 1945, military contracts vanished overnight. While competitors panicked, Olive Ann pivoted quickly to civil aviation. She launched the Beechcraft Bonanza in 1947. It became an iconic design and the longest continuously produced aircraft in aviation history. Then, in 1950, Walter Beech died suddenly of a heart attack. Instead of selling the firm, Olive Ann was officially named President and Chairwoman of the board, becoming the first woman in history to head a major aerospace corporation. For the next 30 years, she guided Beechcraft with her trademark motto, "Slowly we go." The phrase meant steady forward progress without taking on reckless debt. When Forbes asked when Beechcraft would build commercial jets, she famously replied, "We will, when it is compatible with our other activities." While rival companies went bankrupt chasing corporate trends, Beechcraft turned a profit year after year. She expanded into target missiles and built cryogenic fuel storage systems for NASA's Apollo moon missions. In 1980, Olive Ann oversaw the sale of Beech aircraft to Raytheon for $800 million. That same year, she became the first woman to receive the Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy, aviation's highest honor. Olive Ann Beech passed away in 1993 at 89 years old. Without ever sitting in a cockpit, she earned more citations and awards than almost any other woman in aviation history. She proved that leadership wasn't about loudness or belonging to an old boys club. It was about financial discipline, steady judgment, and unwavering resolve. Thank you for watching She Inspires Daily. Subscribe for more untold stories of the women who built modern history, and drop a comment below on who we should cover next.